From the News Channel 5 Network, this is SportsLine.
Hey everybody, welcome to SportsLine. John Burton with you. Happy New Year, our first SportsLine of the new year, our Wednesday extravaganza. Hope you had a wonderful holiday season. We're back after a few-week hiatus, and a lot going on in Tennessee sports right now. We start with the Nashville Predators. Big trade today. Ryan Johansson comes over from the Columbus Blue Jackets, the first-line center. And the Predators trade Seth Jones in that trade. So they let a good defenseman go, but they get a frontline center, which they've been craving for years. The Titans continue their GM and head coach search. Former Lions GM Martin Mayhew interviewed today for that position. So plenty going on. Of course, the All-Star game coming up here in Nashville. The NHL All-Star game. Pekka Rinne, Roman Josi, and Shea Weber all named All-Stars. College basketball. Tennessee is about to finish off a big win over Florida at the Thompson Bowling Arena. Steve Lehman will have highlights of that game for you coming up tonight at 10 over on News Channel 5. But we have a very special show tonight. It's not very often that a local wrestling legend comes walking into your door, and we have him here with us. Hendersonville's own, a champion in WCW, a champion in TNA, a champion in life, really. WWE. This guy has done it all. He was the founder of TNA Wrestling. He's now running Global Force Wrestling. He is the king of the mountain, J-A-F-F-J-A-R-R-E-T-T. Hendersonville's own Jeff Jarrett, great to have you here, sir.
What
Happy
an
New
intro,
Year.
man.
Well, you know, I try to get you over, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've been so busy doing what we're about to talk about, promoting the movie.
Yeah.
I had no idea. We traded Seth?
Yeah, Seth Jones, yeah.
Popeye's kid.
Popeye's kid is going to Columbus, yeah. You know, I think it's a good move. Steve Lehman and I were talking about this because, you know, you look where Seth was on the pecking order of the defensemen. Now he's going to go to Columbus and get a chance to be basically a top two-line defenseman. And, you know, again, you know this, the Predators, they need snipers. They need scoring centers. You know, I worked in Pittsburgh for so many years. I covered Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. Yeah, let's not bring that up. Yeah, but, you know, when you cover guys like Crosby and Malkin, guys that consistently get you 30, 35, 40 goals a season, now this guy's potential, only 23 years old. So
got it. I got it. We'll get on with
it. What are your thoughts on the Titans, though? Obviously, another tough season. They need a new GM. They need a new head coach. We're hearing Malarkey might be the guy. I know you're a big Titans fan. You had Frankie Wycheck on your first TNA show, right?
Yeah, I did. Mariani's a buddy of mine, former Titan. Michael Roos, a couple others. But you know, God, when you really look at all the other NFL teams, I'll start out with that.
Right.
And you look at the winners, consistent winners and consistent losers. You got to say it really does start at the top. It started ownership. So I'm not pointing fingers at the Adams family, but with the passing of Bud and the family taking over, that obviously hasn't been easy. So I don't think you can point complete fingers at Malarkey, Wisenhunt, anybody, but I do think we're on the beginning of big things to come. Mariota, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
He's going to be our guy. Should be our guy.
Right.
We got to give him some tools.
I mean, that's the thing, right? It starts with a quarterback. You watch a lot of football.
Look at the league. Yeah.
You have to have. You don't have a quarterback in this league, you can't win. At least the Titans have that.
But Beckham and Kendall Wright and we're the pieces of the puzzle you can see. But back in our glory days when you were up in that city that we won't mention, Pittsburgh.
It starts with a P.
But our O-line, and you hear Wycheck talk about it. I mean, the O-line was stacked, and it didn't work as 5 or 6 guys individually. It worked as a unit. They worked as one. And so once you get into that, you know, when you have the run and the pass game, I think that's what we've got to put the pieces. And you know, obviously it starts at the top, and the GM and the coach, but the quarterback's there. So that is what is been missing for a while.
Jeff Jarrett is here, folks. Pleased to have him here in studio. He's going to be with us for the entire hour. Lots to get to. A great movie coming out that he's involved in. Obviously, Global Force Wrestling.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah, a brief stint back in TNA, his illustrious career. But I want to start with Global Force Wrestling. Give us an update on where that company is now and how things are going.
Well, you know what? It's an exciting time because literally in April of 2014, it's no secret that I left TNA TNA, and I knew it was time to close that chapter of my life in December of 2013. And then I sort of sat back, and me and Karen and my family, and figured out what next steps were going to be. I certainly wasn't going to get out of the business. My family and my grandmother got into the business right down the street here on 4th Avenue, selling wrestling tickets back in the 40s.
Wow.
And so it's been a part of my family for over 70 years. My dad followed in her footsteps, and he promoted, then he wrestled, then he went back to promoting. Very, very, very successful promoter. And so as I sat back, like I said, we literally named the company in April of 2014, and then I put together a unique set of circumstances, alliances with promotions in 5 continents, 13 different promotions, and they're growing. And then as 2015 rolled along, we had our Grand Slam tour, which we had minor league ballparks.
Yeah.
We put the ring up on home plate and had wrestling shows there when the home team was away. We went out to Vegas in 2015, and we shot our first 16 episodes, and that was a game changer for us, because now as we're in network discussions, I'll say that, and we got a lot coming up this month. Now,
you feel good about those discussions, the network discussions?
I don't feel good. I feel great.
Okay,
I do. I feel great, because it's not, hey, we got an idea, and we're going to be making an announcement in the next 30 to 45 days with a major Hollywood player.
Oh, that's great.
I'll call it, that we partnered up with, and a couple other announcements. But we are in the domestic television negotiations, and then internationally, we made the announcement maybe 6 or 8 weeks ago with, they're called Boulder Creek International. They're based out of London, but they're our international agency, and we're in contract negotiations in different levels at different stages in Mexico, Canada, Italy, France, UK.
So it really is global.
It is global. India, Japan, all over the world. So the one thing that has been a real challenge, but it's how we are, and it's like growing up, there was only Channel 5, and now we're here on Channel 5 Plus.
Right.
So there's so many different forms of distribution. We were backstage talking about Twitter and Facebook and all that, but so when you make a launch nowadays, you cannot just say, hey, here's the television show. It's the television show and the companion, your digital assets, your social media assets. Wow. There's a lot that goes into it. Yeah. And if that's just domestic, you also got to take that global and worldwide. So we're excited, very excited. We got fairs, we got fair shows, we got baseball shows, we got co-promotion shows. We're up in upstate New York at the end of this month. So exciting times in Global Force Wrestling.
I'm sure
just cut me off at any time.
Well, no,
I'll keep talking.
I'm sure the fine folks in upstate New York, beautiful upstate New York, where I happen to be from, are going to enjoy Global Force Wrestling.
Let's not get out of hand. No, I'm kidding.
Well, one of the things that I liked about Global Force Wrestling when you guys did that arc in TNA, it seemed like it was an opportunity for you to showcase some of the workers that you have, some of the wrestlers that you have at your company. And these are all hungry guys. Yeah. These are all guys, right? These are all guys that maybe have had a little taste of big time, WWE or WCW or TNA, and maybe they feel like maybe they didn't get the fairest shake from, whoever the powers that be, and now they have an opportunity to show what they can do, and you're giving them that opportunity.
Yeah, and that's something that I've always believed in, my upbringing, and maybe watching different promotions and being a part of different promotions. You got to have that healthy mix, and just like, we'll go back to the Titans. You got to have those veterans that really know what they're doing, and then you got to have your primetime players that are really coming into their true peak years, and then you got to have the up-and-comers that guys they're fighting day in, day out to get that starting job, and then a step down from that, you got guys that are fighting to get on special teams. Right. But it's the same thing in wrestling. To put the best roster together, you got to have a mix, and what we're doing at Global Force is that the world is so much more connected now that you have Lucha Libre out of Mexico, and the strong style of Japan, and European mat wrestling, and all these different forms and styles of wrestling under one umbrella. It's a real healthy competition. Everyone knows we're not true sport, but the competition that goes with our business of trying to get that spot or trying to get on a show, it's real.
It is, because you experienced it a lot, obviously. I experienced it a little, from my days doing local independent wrestling. Let's face it, whether it's the smallest indie fed or the biggest WWE or whatever you want to call it, everybody in that locker room feels like, hey, I'm the best. I should be the top guy.
Yes.
You know, every storyline
more ways than one.
every storyline should be going through me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure on the one hand you like that because you're usually going to get their best inside the ring. On the other hand, it's got to be tough to manage some of these egos.
And that's what is so unique that, you know, in professional wrestling, obviously in this country, WWE is not the 800-pound gorilla. They're the 8,000-pound gorilla.
Yeah.
They've been around for 50 or 60 years. And, you know, kudos to them. What they do is sports entertainment, and they do it better than anybody else. Yeah. We're going to do professional wrestling, and there is a difference.
Sure.
But the competition within our industry is absolutely real, whether it's Lucha Underground or Ring of Honor or TNA, Global Force, New Japan in Tokyo. Every organization, like you said, there's guys that get in, and some of them are delusional and thinking they deserve a spot. That's just being candid.
That is a great way to put it.
But they are. But that's okay, because sometimes that delusional mindset that I ought to have this spot over time turns into a reality, and then you've got sort of a recipe to a guy that, you know, the fans can tell that. If you better act like you belong, if not, the fans will see right through you. And that's one of the things that professional wrestling is all about, is connecting. The Rock is the epitome of that. From almost day one, he connected with that audience, and now, you know, not only is he the most famous wrestler alive today, he's the biggest Hollywood box office attraction.
It's just amazing what he's been able to do.
And he's doing TV show. I mean, but that's
he's almost as busy as you are, Jeff.
No, I got to tip my hat to that guy. He's off the chain.
Jeff Jarrett is here. Live TV, folks. I actually cannot hear my producer right now, so I'm going to assume it's time to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the movie that you're involved in.
Yeah,
it's called The Masked Saint. It stars, among other people, the late, great Roddy Piper, who we lost back in 2015. We certainly mourn his death. But we're going to talk more with Jeff Jarrett. And if I can get this thing to work, we're also going to take your phone calls as well. Stay with us.